Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today's topic is why business. I don't really know what to title it, but I feel like that's as good as title as any. So let's just get into it. Um, I feel like, and I've done a couple of videos about this, but I'm going to continue to do some. I just think America has a very unhealthy, it's beyond obsession with business, and I just feel like we don't kind of understand that most of the problems that we are experiencing today are a result of not just all business in general, but usually like the real modes of production, like the really most wealthy business owners and the owners of the means of production in the world. That is what's causing most of our shit. And I just want to, hopefully, this will be a very short video just for you to get a couple things and ask yourself these questions and research it for yourself, as I always implore you to research for yourself. One in which is, I just want you to imagine a time, and if there's ever one to happen, please comment, that when a business made record profits, that they lower prices. You know, because I mean, hey, if a business is making record profits quarter after quarter and things of that nature, um, it shows that, like, they should probably, help the consumers out, reward them, and give them lower prices, right? But do they ever? Have they ever? In recent memory, the literal only time certain corporations were even talking about it recently was only due to all the super price hikes that have been happening recently that were post COVID. And even mind you, this, so we'll even have that example of COVID. What happened during COVID, just to highlight the example of what I'm saying? During COVID, we took higher prices, right? We were just like, okay, well, you know, the supply chain is going to be damaged. There are going to be less consumers out there. So, of course, we're going to be paying 20% more if we get something to eat. We're going to be paying more for the small businesses and everything. We took probably like about a 15% hike in prices as a result of that because we understood. But the market's back open. The economy's bigger than ever. Those prices ain't going nowhere, right? They are still fucking high as fuck, right? Still. But who do y'all blame? Y'all blaming Joe Biden. He didn't do any of that. He didn't literally any of it. It's business. And right now, look all these up. Businesses are making record profits. And it's been that way since the pandemic. They were making record profits during the pandemic. So they raised prices more than they should have, and they acknowledge it. And now it's gangbusters. Now the prices are still high and things are still together. Like for Black Friday, this was the highest grossing Black Friday ever. It was an over 10% increase from last year. And that's not even when all the tallies totaled yet. So much for there being a bad economy and everything like that, right? We're spending more than we ever fucking have. And you would think that with people in electorate that allegedly voted because they couldn't afford the price of eggs. I guess they could afford those PlayStations. I guess they could afford those TVs. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like it doesn't make any sense that the economy would be at its highest point. We're spending more than we ever have. Companies are making record profits, but yet people are still somehow disappointed at the economy. But I digress. Businesses, they never lower prices. You know the only entity that helps lower prices? The government. Regulation. They're the only people that can have enough power to represent enough large enough buying blocks to force them to lower prices. And if you don't know how this works, just look about how they did it for diabetes medication, right? For insulin. Insulin was bankrupting people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But you know how the government capped it at $35? Because they're the fucking government and they represent the largest single buyer of insulin in America. So they said, this is what you're going to do. And it worked. So imagine why all these companies are trying to fight to get the government out the way, to lower regulations, to make it harder for the government to, I don't know, help lower prices, which what everyone complains about. Step number two, when businesses are making record profits, have you ever heard of them just giving raises to the people that make the shit? Or do you hail the people fighting for raises? Right? You hear about people striking because they're not getting raises, not even getting cost of living. But yet all these companies are making record profits. So they're making record profits and they're not passing any of it on to the real workers. Now, the CEO pay is like 300 times higher than the average worker, and we seem to have zero problems with that. But how do we allow businesses to just fuck us over every time? And somehow they have found a way to make us blame everything else other than them, and then attack the mechanism, the only mechanism that actually can help us against them. These businesses are only out for money, and we need to regulate them in order so that they will not fuck us up. Like, and what are we willing to do? So now that we've kind of established that businesses, like both in both ends, they are not giving money to their employees. They are not having money for lower prices. So what are they doing? They're giving it to their stockholders. They're giving it to their high power executives. They're buying other businesses and consolidating. They are not doing things that are pro us at all, right? But what can we really do, right? I mean, beyond like voting your interest and actually understand to vote for agencies and organizations that will regulate businesses to help consumers so they don't eat us all a fucking live. I mean, like, because otherwise it'll just be like an oligopoly, right? You're going to have basically like Amazon and Tesla controlling everything and controlling the prices. Is that what we really want? Thank God we have some regulation to force some competition. Like, and it's happened in our past. Like, look at the phone mergers. Like, look at like when AT&T was trying to merge and everything, and Bell South and all those things. Do your research. Like, it is very harmful to us, the consumers, if these people consolidate and they're able just to charge whatever they want. Like, how many businesses now have had lawsuits? Like TD Bank has had lawsuits against them. They just found out there was no ginger in damn ginger ale, right? You know, so there are so many things that companies do to fuck us over and use cheaper and cheaper and cheaper products. Like, you know, what grandma used to say, right? You know, they don't make things like they used to. Like, you could buy a TV before that lasted 20, 30 years. Now the shelf life is like 3. And like, it's baked into the cake. Like, now we actually expect it. We don't even get angry at companies for making shitty products. You know, with iPhone people, like, they literally make their phones slow down. They force you to get a new product. You know what I'm saying? It's like they make their stuff incompatible to make you get the newest device. You know what I'm saying? They don't allow, they glue their shit shut so you can't repair it. They make it so if you don't get it repaired by them, it's a breach of contract, so your phone's out of warranty. It's like, what? Like, businesses are doing whatever they can to force us into basically slavery, you know what I'm saying, into making us completely dependent upon them. And the sad thing about it is, now granted, government ain't the best, but look at what these things and entities are set up to do. Businesses are only set up to make money, so they are only influenced by that. But the government, thank God, is influenced by more than that. Now, the government can be influenced by money, but we, the people, can stop that. We can be like, hey, businesses are not allowed to influence the government, right? Don't give billions of dollars, right? Because humans are humans, right? So, of course, they're going to go to where the money is. But we and the government, you know what I'm saying, like, have the ability, it's for the people, by the people, right? So at least in theory, it's not about money. It's about representation. It's about being reflective. And if we, the people, are actually able to vote and make our politicians be held more accountable, it is far more impactful than the impact that we can make on business. It's far more impactful. Business is all about money. So the largest purchaser is going to be the person that business listens to the most. And most likely, that's not going to be us. We're not going to be the largest purchasers of anything. We would have to have all of our things collectively gotten together, like what they do for unions, like what the government did for Medicaid. Like, we would need assistance in all of those. If businesses got us all out together and treated us as individual customers, that's scattershot. They got us. So hopefully somewhat of a short video today is just like, let's just start thinking differently about businesses. Like, look at them for what they actually are doing, and they're not out for our own interests. The things that we need to be investing in and putting more energy and input into is government. The things that actually control the businesses, that regulate the businesses, that make sure there's more income sharing and all those things. So I just implore you to do your research on, has a business ever really been given raises? You know what I'm saying? Has a business ever really been lowering prices for us? What have businesses been doing besides raising the prices and exploiting us, making large profits and cutting the quality of their products? You know what I'm saying? Like, cutting the lifespan of their products, using cheaper materials, shifting their labor other places. Like, how much more has to happen, right? Are we really just thinking like, let's just give businesses all the advantages, just in case maybe one day I'll be a billionaire business person and I too would like to exploit? Like, at least wait till that happens, right? At least advocate for yourself until you become that businessman, right? And then maybe you can be moralist like the rest of them. Until the next time.